All right, hello guys. I hope you can see me and you can hear me well. Let me know if you do, please. Thank you. Okay. Hello, Chaitanya. How are you doing? Hello, Nereus. Hey guys. Let's wait for a second for Ken to join in. I'm also going to notify the Discord and Telegram community that we are going live and we can dive in. Oh, Ken is already here. Perfect.
Hey Jake.
Hello, Ken. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, man. You?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. I've
Good.
upgraded the mic, so hopefully you want to hear my keyboard. I can test it, and you will let me know, right?
Nice. Yeah, no, I can't hear. Oh, is it a new
Okay.
mic? Did you say?
No, it's not new, but the Rode ones are probably just too
Oh,
much. So
yeah.
let's see.
Yeah, fair. Awesome.
I don't think you can hear it, which is perfect.
No,
Uh,
can't hear.
Perfect. So yeah, hello guys. Hope you're doing great. Let us just set everything so we can dive in. Pretty interesting few days, especially on the Australian dollar, which I think surprised more traders. Okay.
Yeah, that was a surprise. Indeed.
Yeah, I hope one day I'll be here. Well, we're well. Okay, perfect. So let's see. What do we start with? Do you wanna kick off as usually, and I'll join in, or
Yeah. Yeah,
okay?
I'll get it cracking. Let me share my screen.
Perfect.
Okay, guys. Okay, yeah. Okay. Right, let me maximize this. Bam.
Great.
Yeah, you can't.
No, I can't now. I think it popped out for a second. I think so, but not right now.
Oh, strange. Okay, let me try again. Share entire screen. Share. There we go.
Yes, I can see it perfectly.
You can't see it again, can you?
Yeah. No. I can see it. I see your
Okay.
charts. Looking at the Dixie.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. All right, guys. I think we're at a crossroads. You know, this is very interesting times. Still, again, for me, because of this dollar situation, right? Um, remember, this structure has just been intact, and look, a lot of markets are, well, say markets, dollar related, are in sort of pullback consolidation phase. Now, there hasn't been anything sort of major. When you look at the calendar this week, it's very, very light. Okay, which for sort of dollar related, obviously tonight we got, say tonight in the next hour, we've got the FOMC meeting minutes. But just so you guys know, this isn't really a massive event, the minutes in itself, typically speaking. The actual rate decision, which we have at the end of this month, is the big focal point, right? But this should just reinforce their wait and see stance that they've been taking of late. But it's a little bit outdated. Since then, we've seen Jerome Powell speaking, who basically said rates could go down in July. Obviously, they're not going to, but he said they could, if the data warrants it. And that was ahead of the non-farm payrolls. But when we look at non-farm payrolls last Thursday, it still isn't showing a complete deterioration in the labor market. Look at the unemployment rate. It came down to 4.1%. Jobs added 147K. The unemployment claims were slightly lower. But you see on these figures, let me make one thing very clear. When you look at the actual jobs report below the surface level of these numbers, basically there was actually higher people, sort of higher layoffs. There were higher layoffs, higher unemployment, like people losing jobs. However, people didn't actually officially go and record and claim unemployment. So these figures are kind of skewed in a way. They don't actually take into full account the current situation. All right, in my opinion. Wages came down to 0.2%, which is deflationary. Now, of course, ahead of the FOMC I'm going to go back to the dollar in a moment and just remember, you know how I roll. We just paint that picture a little bit. So if we look at US CPI, see when the next CPI reading's due. That's on the 15th of July. So mark that in your calendars. That's a big freaking week next week. Okay. US inflation. It's huge because we obviously have the FOMC rate decision on the 30th. So 2 weeks after. All right. So this is going to be interesting because if that CPI number does call, you know what's going to happen? Market's going to ramp up their dollar selling and be ready for that pivot from Jerome Powell's current stance of being neutral to dovish, where he gears us up for those rate cuts coming for the second, for the latter stages of 2025 from September onwards. So dollar's at a very important area right now. To be honest with you, I just don't see it breaking out like to the upside. The only way it breaks out to the upside, okay, I'm going to give you two scenarios where I see the dollar breaking out to the upside. So remember all this downside, right? We've gone over all these reasons in previous streams, but this big leg lower here of like almost 4% drop for the Dixie. Remember, this was on the tariffs, okay? Trump going after everybody, attacking everybody with the tariffs. So it hit the United States because, you know, just because Trump slaps on tariffs, that's not beneficial to the United States in the short term. Maybe in the long run, it may work out for them because they're going to get more money. However, right now, it creates uncertainty, okay? It creates a lot of uncertainty for the US economy. It makes them uninvestable. So dollar dropped. So if, for example, you know how we have these trade talks going on right now. So you will see trade talks. These are ongoing. We've got the deadline of August the 1st. There is some optimism at the moment because EU have been trying to make some progress with US. Look, they're ready. They're for all scenarios amid trade talks with US. They're ready. So like, if, for example, the talks go well with major trading partners, then, and the US, like everyone's happy, you know, there's no like animosity, then I think dollar could have a breakout on that. If, that's a big if. The other way dollar breaks out higher, okay, is if Jerome Powell in the July meeting, so next week we have inflation that still shows inflation sticky, and then Powell's like, look, we're still not ready, but we're close. If he says something like that, we're still not ready, but we're close, then that won't be the next meeting, the September meeting. That will be later on. So then dollar will strengthen. Those are the only two ways I see dollar potentially strengthening. Okay. The first one I'm not sure about because if a trade deals are agreed across the board and everyone's happy before August 1st, then that could create risk appetite, right? That could create risk appetite and other currencies benefit as opposed to the dollar. So I still see the risks to the downside for the greenback. Today, obviously, we had a big retest on this. Remember I said we've been printing lower highs, lower lows. We're at this lower high, right? And we've been knocking on the door, rejecting so far. Price action moving in a potentially descending channel, a rising channel, bearish flag, subject to a breakout. I would like to see that breaking out, but, you know, we've been knocking on the door quite a lot. You see where previously when we've come up to it, big rejection, come up to it, big rejection, come up to it, big rejection. You see the point. We've been rejecting. But here, we're showing a little bit of persistence at the moment, which is interesting, which intrigues me. But I think it's a case of just we're consolidating. There's not enough sexy sort of developments going on in the market right now, which keeps us in this consolidation mode. Now, before I carry on into the dollar related, I just want to show you yields, okay? US yields, right? This is interesting now, okay? Guys, we've spoken about yields before. Let me quickly give you the quick synopsis or the quick overview, rather. Now, remember, yields are the rate of return that a foreign investor gets when they invest in the United States, okay? Remember that. So, when yields are rising, typically speaking, okay, because there's other scenarios, but I'm just giving you the scenario right now. When yields are rising, typically speaking, that means a foreign investor is going to be getting a higher return for investing into the United States when it comes to bonds, okay, bonds. So that attracts dollar flow. So people come in, they're like, yeah, give me a piece of that yield. I'm coming in, go and invest. And then obviously to invest in that bond, to get that yield, you need dollars. So the dollar follows. So yields rise, then dollar follows. But on the flip side, if yields fall, right, because i.e. markets are thinking about the FOMC coming up to rate cuts, because remember, when we're cutting interest rates, we're also going to be cutting the yield on these bonds. You know, bond yields are going to come down. So then markets be like, oh man, bond yields coming down in the US. I'm getting the hell out of there and I'm going to go invest somewhere else, right, where I can get a higher yield. So then dollar weakens. You understand? So yields are falling quite a bit today. if you look at some of the 2s, the 5s, the 10s, the 20s, the 30s, we're down like 1%, generally speaking, across the board. Interesting. All right. Yields have started falling. Dollar's holding ground at the moment. Okay. And remember, you see here, we spoke about this before. I'm just being a bit educational here, just to give you some insight, just so you can know where I'm thinking right now. Here on the 23rd, so last Monday, right? Or was it the Monday before? Dollar dropped at 2 p.m. Yields, that Monday, the 23rd, right? Where is it, Ken? There, 12 o'clock London time. So the dollar fell after. So yields first, then dollar. So this is interesting now. Okay, this is interesting to me because yields are falling here, but the dollar's holding ground. So I'm watching this, and maybe we're setting up for that nice rejection again for the dollar. But when you look at dollar related, guys, we are in consolidation mode. It's very boring price action, as you can see. Euro's obviously pulling back. We're in this sort of descending channel. You know, we go through these periods of consolidation, like here, breakout, and we're just going through a long ass period of consolidation because there's just nothing, no major news right now, you know. And I think we're going to have this for a little bit before we get that breakout. So I can't really give you any insight on this right now, but what I can say is that I'm still leaning towards euro dollar, GBP dollar breaking out to the upside. All right. I don't have any trade ideas on this for now. I'm waiting. I'm sitting on my hands. I'm sitting on these bad boys, waiting to execute. One thing that does interest me, all right, let's go into Aussie, and I'm sure obviously Jake's gonna have some comments on Aussie. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a trade that I'm eyeing up right now, actually, with Aussie dollar. And the reason being, so guys, let's talk about fundamentals a minute. I mean, we've just been talking about fundamentals, but let's talk further about fundamentals. RBA on Tuesday, so yesterday morning, these guys left rates unchanged at 3.85%.
Big surprise.
Which markets were surprised because you see this? Markets were expecting a 25 basis point rate cut. That was a surprise because it was like 95, 96% probability priced in that they were going to deliver that cut, but they didn't. And the reason for it is because they said, look, inflation is still, you know, there's still risks to inflation potentially rising. Okay, we're almost there, but we're not quite there yet. So they want to keep rates higher for now, just to try and bring it down a little bit more before they act. They don't want to act too prematurely because there's risks inflation move higher. Now, let me just tell you something on an educational level again. All right, these are the sort of things you need to sort of be thinking about. When you look at one reason why I wasn't too surprised was because the RBA also, they don't just focus on inflation, they also focus on the labor market, right? Because the labor market is a contributor towards inflation. It really starts there with the labor market, because if we have a healthy labor market, i.e. low unemployment, decent jobs, there's people in the workforce spending, spend, and then inflation, of course, reacts on the back of that, right? Inflation rises if we've got good labor market. If we've got bad labor market, then inflation's going to fall. We're going to see it falling. So this number has been quite healthy for a while. It hasn't budged. 4.1% that's very good unemployment for Australia. So yeah, the important thing to note here, guys, is this is the big one, right? Let's keep an eye on Aussie CPI now. Okay, we have this on the 30th of July. Now, the RBA rate decision, okay, that's going to be very important because that's going to shape up some really big moves for Australian dollar. If that comes out higher, then this due on August the 12th is going to mean rates are probably going to be unchanged again. And markets are crazy because right now, the pricing for August is 85% probability that they're going to cut rates. Like, what are they basing this on? Like, the RBA said to you guys, to the markets, people forget that RBA, they communicate to you. And they said, we are waiting for CPI. So where the hell are they pulling this 85% from? I don't know. So it's all dependent on that CPI come Tuesday. Whatever date I just told you, I think July. So I like Aussie dollar longs, right? Still capitalizing on this dollar weakness. Structure is bullish, higher highs, higher lows. I was eyeing this up today, but we lost a little bit of momentum here. I was looking at a potential breakout, watching for a breakout here. You see, we've got this bit of a range forming, potential bullish pennant. Here's all of our pole, the momentum there. And here's the consolidation subject to a breakout to the upside for a new higher high. I haven't executed because it's a little bit outside of my not a little bit. This is very much outside of my trading window. So I'll look at this potentially tomorrow. I'll look at these longs potentially tomorrow for that higher highs, try and catch a move into sort of 66.20. I was also just quickly, I was actually looking at Euro Aussie longs, if you remember, on our stream on Monday. However, this didn't. I'm really surprised at this actually, that we didn't get this momentum, because everything was teeing up quite nicely. The structure, let me just remove this a moment. The structure's been bullish, higher highs, higher lows. The weekly price action's bullish. The daily we printed a high. I was looking for this new higher low, but then we were shaping up for a potential double bottom here. Bam, bam, and then boom, is sinking. So, I mean, structure hasn't been broken unless it takes out, obviously this low here. So we could still somewhere here print a new higher low and carry on to the upside. But maybe given that hold from the RBA, this is just providing a little bit of edge for the Australian dollar right now. Jake, I've been talking quite a lot there. So
yeah, no problem. So about the Australian dollar, I was surprised, as probably as you were, by keeping the same rates, 3.85, if I'm not mistaken, and kind of didn't see it at all. But it's too bad that all the data that I'm looking for are or at the very end of the month, or everything like retail sales, GDP, the CPIs, everything is set on 30th of this month. Other than if that would be earlier, I might actually see some trades on Australian dollar. Don't get me wrong, even though that they deliver kind of hawkish tone or hawkish decision, not cutting the rates, I'll probably be still more bearish on Australian dollar, because and as I was watching the index of Australian dollar, on the very decision there was a bullish bar, but beside that, like after this big bullish candle, there was not much momentum on Australian dollar. So basically what I'm looking for is still some sort of a reversal after this bullish momentum on Australian dollar ends, and kind of I still want to look for some bullish opportunities and buys on Euro Australian dollar, because I think Euro still outplays Australian dollar. I don't think it's going to happen now. Maybe even if we break the structure, I might be quite open on 1.785. That's the level that I'll be looking for. I'm pretty sure that we might get there. If someone would ask me what would I do if I'd be trading Euro Australian dollar now, I'd be probably go short towards we hit the level 1.785. But then if we actually saw some patterns or candlestick reversals on lower time frames, meaning 1 hour, 4 hour, then check this. Okay, I can share the screen even. Yeah, let me do that. Okay, so share the screen, and yeah, let me know whenever you can see it.
Yep.
You can already, right?
Yep, we can see.
Yeah, okay, perfect. So yeah, the lower low that you were pointing at was this one, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Even if we break below this, I think then 85, which is, I'm going to highlight those two levels. So this one and 80. So probably in this zone, I can even bring rectangle. So in this zone, I'll be looking for possible reversals. I think that Euro Australian dollar will now go short. So if I'd be trading it right now, and I wouldn't recommend it because I don't really like buying Australian dollar, but if so, I would be going probably towards that 1.785. Yeah, but for me, Euro is still way stronger than Australian dollar. I mean, the GDP didn't went well for Australia. I think it was lower by 0.2%. The retail sales were a little bit upwards, but nothing was suggesting that the inflation in Australia is getting out of the hand. So my probably forecast for the chances of the rate cut for the next decision is higher than keeping again rates unchanged. In that regard, I'll be just looking for any signs of that happening, and if so, I'll be gladly trading again euro Australian dollar towards the upside, and that's the pair that I'm trading towards the upside since the level of 1.75.
Mhm.
So yeah, for me, still bullish market. Not as bullish as it was, but looking at the Australian dollar index, not going to buy Australian dollar.
Yeah.
And the dollar, let's see, GBP USD, kind of like what's happening here. If the pound gains some strength, because we on a daily chart, we are still on this pretty bullish trend line.
Mm.
Right now, we are at support of 1.36, 1.358. So if we're going to hold here, especially after this candle on 4 hour, yeah, I might be open to go long on pound against dollar, especially if the trend line holds. As a swing trader, I would gladly trade it towards 1.38 if if the US dollar is not going to get some momentum, bullish
Mm.
momentum, which I don't think. You said that the bonds are coming down, right, in the United
Yeah,
States.
yields are coming
Yeah,
down. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So probably if the tariff situation is going to get a little bit more chill, then Powell might say that we are more open towards that rate cut in upcoming months, hopefully. So that would be probably the trigger. On the pound, yeah, euro pound for me is still one of the strongest
Mm.
currencies at this moment on the market, and probably
Yes.
something similar is forming on euro US dollar when we have this level of 1.165, which is still holding. We actually
Mm.
didn't touch it yet, but within the zone, I think we're gonna get there in 2 days probably, and until the end of the week, we might be seeing euro USD trading in this zone. And what's going to be important is if we're going to bounce from it or break. Yeah, so probably best to wait for this level on euro USD, wait for some price action, and then GBP USD. Just I would be just watching if we create new high and low time frame, which is
Mm.
this one. If so, yeah, that's probably the only US dollar pair that I would be actually considering to enter at this
Mm.
moment.
Mm. Fair. Fair. Let,
Let me
let
just take a look in the chat. Yeah, sorry.
yeah, oh, yeah, yeah, sorry. No, I wanted to just go. Why? Go on. You check. If you let me just check.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
just looking because I think Emu. And by the way, hello, mate. I haven't take a look at your account, but if you've already passed, good job on
Whoa.
it. Yeah, that was the guy. Actually, I gave him the giveaway on Monday, and he messaged me like 3 hours, 4 hours after that. If I'm not mistaken,
Wow.
you might correct me that he is like one person from passing the account. So good
Nice.
job on passing it. Hopefully, you'll get the payout.
Congrats.
So I'll probably will take a look
And
at
I'm
your
rich.
evaluation, maybe tomorrow, because that was one of the things that I wanted to discuss on the live stream. If you want to do one more live stream, but not market analysis, as it's going to be probably on Thursdays or Tuesdays, and we will just, as we did now, jump on a live stream. I'll bring up the best traders in past 2-3 days, and we'll go through their EDX dashboard. We'll go through their trades, and we'll just try together figure it out. What's the system? What's the risk management? What's the approach they are taking? What they are
Mm.
trading at this moment? So
Mm.
instruments, are they going long, short, why? So yeah, mostly like a review, not an analysis, but it can be kind of entertaining at the same time. You might get a lot of value from it because
Definitely.
finding those patterns, like trading single instrument, trading or having a consistent lot size. I mean, there's a lot of what we can find on those accounts. So if you'd be
Mm.
interested, let me know exactly what I was thinking. Okay, so
Yeah.
we can do it. Then we just need to choose the best day for it, and I'll probably just create another not short story on my Instagram account, and we can choose the best date for actually reviewing those traders.
Yeah,
Could be fun.
Yeah, I think people will like that. Find a lot of value in that.
Yeah. At the same time, guys, from the Monday, JV was here answering the questions. The question that hasn't been answered yet, or the questions that haven't been answered yet, he is going to answer them all on his Instagram profile and our YouTube channel. So basically, like 4-5 times a week, we'll be now sharing shorts with the question from the Monday session. By the way, if you have any questions right now for JV, for those of you who know JV, our performance coach, just leave it in the chat. I usually download the chat just to know who was here and what were the questions, and then I'll pass it to JV. He will answer it. So yeah, if you guys up for it, we can do it tomorrow. The account reviews. I've already downloaded a few traders that did particularly well this week. So we've got so far Wednesday, and we have some really good traders. So if you're up for it, we can do it tomorrow. I have no problem with that. The same time, and yeah, Chitanya, of course. Probably the yeah, probably the first candidate for 10K account, because Chaitanya, I haven't missed a single live stream session.
Man, he's consistent. Somesh as well. FX Somesh, he's quite consistent.
Yeah, as well.
Yeah.
Imu also making jokes. Yeah, those guys are brilliant.
Yeah. Guy, by the way, yeah, because Chaitanya was saying about JV coming today, because he is on the thumbnail. You know, when you look on the thumbnail.
Yeah. He can come today if you want to, guys. If we'll have enough questions for him, I can ask him. I can invite him over here for a few minutes, because the Monday session went, I think, 1.5 hours, maybe almost 2 hours with the JV. Yeah, wow. He was answering questions, and he's so passionate about trading. So basically, when he gets to the topic, he don't know where to stop. I think that's a positive sign.
Yeah.
Yes, something like when you started talking about markets, right? So yeah.
That's good, man.
So yeah, we can invite him over, but if you want to just leave the question here, and I'll then pass it to JV, and he will either join us on Monday answering all those old questions, or just creating a story or story or short on his Instagram profile on our YouTube channel. When I think that we can do it tomorrow at the same time. I mean, if that's good time for you guys, let us know, because I think 6 p.m. UK time is the best time. Most of the people are already back from the work, kind of chilling, either watching TV, analyzing charts. So if you're good with it, I think we can do it at 6 p.m. And yeah, okay. So yeah, let's do it. Let's do it tomorrow then. Okay, let's get back to the markets, and just if you have any questions for JV, leave them in the chat. Where we stopped at US dollar, I think. No, Australian dollar.
Yeah, I was gonna say something about Australian dollar. Obviously, you are obviously not a massive fan of going long Aussie at the moment.
Yeah.
I only like Aussie dollar because of the weaker dollar. I like Aussie versus the dollar because of the weaker dollar at the moment, and because of that rate cut didn't occur. But there are definitely some warning signs for Australia. Let me talk to you guys about something. Actually, let me just share my screen again.
Yeah, sure. I'm going to. I mean, in the short run, in the short term, I have nothing against like buying Australian dollar right now when it's still bullish after the rate decision. But as a swing trader, for me, it's kind of risky. But if you're trading daily, then I mean day trading, it's a good idea.
Yeah, definitely. So, guys, this is really important. Okay, I can't stress how important this is, and you heard it here first from me, because I know you haven't heard it from anywhere, because I know no one is talking about this, right? And I want you to take note of this. So China, this is how markets are just like sweeping things under the rug for the time being. Excuse me. China, this is their producers' prices.
I
This
think
morning,
you're
I've been
still
talking about this
loading
for a
on the
while
screen.
anyway.
We still can't see the screen. Maybe you can
Oh,
try it
man.
again. I don't know if people can see it, but at least not me.
Oh, I don't think it is shared. I think you're right. Oh, wait, hold up. What's going on here? Right, let me try again.
Yeah, sure.
Share. Okay, share screen. Okay, let's try again. Entire screen. Bam. Okay. All right, here we go.
Yeah,
Let's minimize
I can
this.
see it
You can see, yeah?
clearly now. Yes, it's perfect.
Okay, guys, this is China's Producers Prices Index, PPI, right? This came out today and it was minus 3.6%. So what this means for anyone that doesn't know, this is deflation. We have a deep deflation here in China. So prices just falling for the producers' prices. And you have to think, why are prices falling so drastically? It's not even like it's a minor fall and it's just a one-off. It's consistently falling hard, which is a very big, loud alarm bell for me that no one can hear for some reason. I'm guessing everyone is focused on the trade tariffs, the tariffs. But when we start focusing on this, it's danger because don't forget that China, right? When we have an economic downturn, first of all, guys, the economic downturn isn't just like a bleed straight away. We don't just like bleed out. An economic downturn and recession is like internal bleeding. You have a wound within inside, and that wound, starts to grow. It deepens. The more blood comes out, and then we eventually bleed out. That's what happens with a recession. It's a sort of a slow bleed. It's not just like, okay, markets just crashed on that day. I mean, that has happened, obviously, but the alarm bells start, we start getting that bleeding gradually. And this is worrying for me because if prices are falling drastically in China, you must think from an economics perspective of people in China clearly, potentially, the demand is not there. People are not spending money. Why? Why are people not spending money in China? Are we facing some sort of economic issue here where people are not spending money? So price of goods services coming down, 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 down. And then if potentially China are feeling a squeeze, right? Imagine all these people aren't buying these goods and these services, prices coming down. These businesses eventually, they can't put down their price anymore. They're just going to go out of business. It's going to be no sense for them. So they're going to go out of business. So then if we have this sort of slow grinding down in the Chinese economy, that's going to impact, it doesn't just impact China. You have to remember these markets are interconnected. You have to then think China actually a big purchaser of Australian goods. They import a lot of Australian goods. They import a lot of New Zealand goods, right? That's their biggest two-way trading partner. So that impacts Australia and New Zealand as well. But no one's talking about it. It's crazy. So this is really, really on my radar, should I say? Okay, the fact that China are in deep deflation. So yeah, this is basically my point was because obviously Jake was saying about him being skeptical about long-term Aussie. I am long-term, and this is one of the reasons because as China slow down, it impacts Australia. So it's
actually a
interesting.
really good spot, Ken. I haven't thought about that myself actually because I haven't seen the PPIs from China. But yeah, actually makes a lot of sense. And yeah, that's really good.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. So let's see what happens with that. But it's definitely an alarm bell, that's for sure. It's definitely an alarm bell. Someone was asking about stocks earlier. I haven't been active in stocks in a little while. Well, saying that, excuse me, I was eyeing up these longs here in Nasdaq today, but I missed them. It moved really quickly. I was eyeing up. Sorry, so let me just bring this up. Obviously, Nasdaq is at all-time highs. If we look here, see we're at all-time highs. We've got this big gap here from the start of the week, and that big gap was sort of helped on by the tariff delays. Trump not proceeding with tariffs. It was supposed to be today, right, 9th of July, but obviously that we had that extension, so that created a bit of risk appetite in the markets. Because remember, stocks were hit quite hard before when we had those tariffs announced. So obviously structure has been very much to the upside. It's been clean. High, 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 low, high, 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 low. And I was watching this today, but I missed it. I was busy. I saw this breakout here because you know how we sort of, when we're in a bullish trend, I'd always watch the near-term pullbacks when we're printing lower highs, lower lows. And then I just saw this bullish candlestick. I was waiting for it and I saw it too late, and then it just went, and then it hit the target that I would have been looking at. I would have been looking left, just taking the highs, and it hit exactly that and came back down. But oh well. So if you ask me where this is going, I mean, as long as we don't get any negative developments from, the trade war, the tariffs, then the dips are going to continue to be bought. Don't just jump in here out of FOMO. You just
Yeah.
be potentially looking to wait again for a structure to be respected and go again, potentially to all-time highs. So just sort of sit pretty, sit patient, and wait for those dips to be potentially bought. And remember, stocks are excited about incoming rate cuts from the FOMC. So there's support for stocks right now. Yeah. I don't know what your thoughts are, Jake. And I know you don't really sort of
On
trade
stocks,
indices, but yeah.
that's a hard one. Let me check. Which one were you analyzing right now? I was just checking the
Oh, I was
sentiment.
looking at NASDAQ.
Nasdaq, for longs,
Yeah.
potentially.
Yeah, well, I missed longs today. We had
Mm.
longs, a long idea. Now we're just sort of pulling back. But dip buying looks attractive. Not right at this moment in time, but we are sort of structured to the upside very cleanly at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, indexes are probably the only asset that I've never been selling, and I've never been trading in the short term. So
Yeah.
if you're trading 1 hour, that's something completely out of my range. But
Yeah.
probably the only advice that I would give, if like for traders who are trading long term, gold and indexes and Swiss franc. Those are assets that you buy most of the time.
Definitely. You know what? Actually, I was talking to someone about this today. It's funny because if you just pull up everyone, I mean, we could just look at it now quickly, but when you look at all Swissy charts, look at Swiss franc, NZD
Yeah,
Swiss, CAD Swiss, GP Swiss. It's just one directional. And, let's not forget that at the end of the day, a lot of money, people, anyone doesn't know the economics, like a lot of money flows into Switzerland, big money, because we have a lot of portfolios that are structured in Switzerland, and that's where a lot of institutions, big players, high net worths store cash, and gold vaults. So it's a very attractive place and a stable place to put your money. And
yeah,
as you can see, it's just Swiss franc just benefits all the time, more or less.
yeah.
So
If you
and
take a look at the index of Swiss, I think I've posted it like 5 years ago on my Twitter. I'll try to find it till the next live stream. But I said I will never sell Swiss franc. It's the only currency that when I see a vulnerable currency like Japanese yen or now Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar, and I don't see some runners towards the upside, I
yeah,
always turn to Swiss franc. It's stable. It doesn't like accept 2 or 3, historically speaking, situations where Swiss franc did some
yeah.
mad moves. It's pretty stable. It's still growing. I mean, if you take a look at the index, you will see why I won't ever sell Swiss franc. I mean, scalpers can, but even as a day trader, I wouldn't be actually taking shorts on Swiss franc.
Yeah, man. No, you just wouldn't. I think there are some nice setups with Swissies at the moment. I do have a small position with Aussie Swiss at the moment that I'm running. The structure's been sort of quite clean to the downside. We've been printing these, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. And then I got in after this sort of lower high up here. I'd entered after there was a liquidity sweep here above the Asian range on Tuesday, and then I entered on this bearish closure below, and I was expecting that to be quite quick to the downside. However, just sitting flat really. Well, obviously a minor profit, but I was waiting for this to come down and just print a new lower low. We're moving very, very slowly there. I was also looking at the idea of GBP shorts, GP Swiss shorts as well, similar to GP Aussie. There's a lot of downside potential I feel with these Swissy pairs.
Yeah.
On the weekly is very clean, very structured to the downside at the moment. GP Swiss daily, as you can see, is similar to Aussie Swiss. Really, a lot of the Aussie pairs are like this. These lower highs. We go through this period as well where we consolidate and a nice run of breakout, consolidate, and now looking for a nice run of breakout to challenge this sort of 106 area, these lows of 2025. So I like the idea of this downside. We're just sort of been consolidating, but looking for that momentum to pick up to the downside.
Yeah.
So I think that can come into play. as
I mean,
well.
look at the New Zealand dollar Swiss franc. It's like on weekly, daily, 4 hour, whatever. We are heading down, and traders still think that it's too late to enter. But New Zealand dollar Swiss franc is one of the pairs that, you know, I don't want to give like financial advice. Like you get me with it, but basically, if you take a longer time frames, we are still heading towards 0.46 in the long run. Long run, might be a
Yep.
few weeks. So if I would be even right now selling, placing a stop loss above 848 or even higher than that, and just ride the bearish trend. Yeah,
Mate,
just
I know. Look at it. It's
yeah.
just crazy.
Yeah,
Just
I
to the
mean, New
south.
Zealand dollar Swiss franc, that there's nothing like entering late on it. I mean, if you
Yeah,
scalp, of course, but you know,
definitely. I guess one thing that we should just be aware of as well, like, is worth noting that there isn't the threat of it at the moment, but at some point there may be. Historically, this SNB, these guys don't mess around. Like, when the Swiss franc gets a bit too strong, they will intervene, and
yeah,
you are going to get, regardless of where you place your stops, you're going to get liquidated. Because it's just one of those things. Like, when something like that happens and we have this surge of volume going through the market, it doesn't matter where your stop is, you're most likely going to get taken out. In my opinion, from my experience, even with some traders that I've worked quite closely with, during that. I mean, I remember the time when the Swiss bank, the SNB, excuse me, removed the Swiss floor, the franc floor. Where they capped. Obviously, for anyone who doesn't know, they capped the exchange rate, and then they end up removing that floor. And then obviously we had this massive panic and chaos in the markets. What year was that? 20. Shizers, I can't remember the year. Which year? Swiss. Let me
the Swiss
check.
franc drop.
Yeah.
Let me tell
CHF
you,
floor.
it was
2015.
yeah,
January
was it?
2015. Yeah.
Yeah, 2015, and also one more was I think at 2011. Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Look at
yeah,
that. My gracious. Wait. Yeah. Look at that. Oof. Yeah. I remember the floor 120. I remember that. That was the floor. And then eventually they removed it. And then boom. Look at that. Oof.
yeah.
Some people, obviously, a lot of people, well, some brokers even went bust on this. Some brokers went bust.
Oh yeah,
People
most
like would wake
definitely.
up and check their accounts. Yeah. Some people check their accounts and they're like heavy, like just in the massive negative. So say you had an account that's like 100K, your account was like minus 100K or some crazy shit. Like it happened. Like, at the end of the day, when that happens, there's just zero control. Like, no one has control, of where you're going to get filled. So
Yeah,
game over.
that's true.
And you can't prepare for something like that. You can't prepare for something like that. These black swan events, or whatever you want to call them. But yeah, man, it's interesting. I think we'll probably get some of that sort of stuff again at some point. I don't know. Let's see. It'd be interesting. It'd be interesting. No, I actually hope we don't. I hope we don't get
Yeah.
anything like that.
It's either you get millionaire or you go on a street. That's
Yeah.
just two doors on moves like this.
Yeah, basically. But yeah, man. So many gems being
Okay.
dropped already. Love to hear that. Good. We're glad you're enjoying the streams. Jake, someone's asking about interview of Robin.
Interview. When will the interview with Robin come? Interview with Robin. Wait. The gold scalper. Let me check if I'm right on it. Lone Malone, can you specify? Is it the gold scalper, the swing trader? I mean, the swing trader interviews already. Yeah, you mean interview? Okay, we've got a camera view, and we didn't still find a common ground or didn't get back from Robin. So I'm not sure if we're going to do the interview. I'll try at least once, but not everyone is up for being. Putting the face out. So. I'll try to figure it out, but I can't guarantee it. I can't guarantee it. We've got a couple of interviews in upcoming weeks, really good ones as well. Maybe a few traders like Robin here, but then like every trader is unique. I'll try to push it through, but I can't guarantee you that.
Where was he
Probably
based?
tomorrow. Sorry.
I was wondering where he was based. The gold scalper.
Robin is, I think, Germany-based trader. No,
Cool.
this wasn't the gold trader. This was a
Oh,
trader that I did a
oh,
camera review, I think, a week ago. But he is trading $1 million with the eight markets,
mm,
or were at that time close to $1 million. So he was also he was also a very decent trader. I mean, yeah. I mean, everyone in the comment section was just spamming W for Robin. So yeah, he was pretty much a sniper. I mean, there's a lot
nice.
of traders like this, and we will review them probably tomorrow, guys. And if we will see some really good traders, really decent traders, then we might just, you might just say to me if I can figure out if the person is available for interview, which I would love to do with most of the traders that I'm reviewing throughout the day. So yeah, I think we'll find more traders like this throughout the live account review. It's a good. I don't think better than this. What do you think, guys? I don't think. Yeah, you'd be surprised how many traders are there like Robin. Um, yeah, we'll probably I'll keep it for tomorrow, but
Nice.
it'd be actually surprised how many traders are there. I mean, the one that we were talking about on Monday, the gold scalper, the I think he was from Kuwait. No, yeah, I
From
think
where?
from Kuwait. Yeah, Kuwait,
Oh,
Kuwait,
Kuwait.
Kuwait.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, from there, and I mean, making $36,000 scalping gold on Monday. That's crazy. It was evaluation, but still, then till the end of the week, making 12 grand in a payout. And after he got the payout, then 2 hours after that, he made additional, I think, 3 grand. So we might
Nice.
take a look at this guy.
You know what
I
would be
was.
super interesting? Like I
Mhm.
would find it so fascinating if like genuine traders like that can actually make money. Because obviously we see a lot of Fugazi stuff on YouTube and Instagram stuff, but
Yeah.
people like that, and you see them, like you'd be able to watch them, like in their trading environment, just see like what's going through their mind, what their process is like you could imagine he might have just been sitting there like absolutely dripping buckets of sweat, like just biting his nails and but it just, or he could have just been like super calm, super chilled. It's like, yeah, bam, 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 bam. Like it would just be interesting to watch people like that. And I
Yeah.
think a lot of traders would love to see sort of
Yeah.
content like that. You know what I mean?
We're trying to push that with Joel, as we want to create also some entertaining videos. So we have a couple of traders scheduled for day in the life of a trader. So we are going to be releasing videos like this. So you've got a lot to look forward, guys. But yeah, I mean, I would love to see those two that I reviewed last time.
Mm,
Uh, I mean, if you're trading
definitely.
gold and you're trading what was he trading, 5-10 lots, was looking for $3 move on gold. I mean, I'd be sweating it for sure. So
Yeah.
yeah, we'll
100%.
try to deliver more content like this. At the same time,
Yeah.
I saw a question there. How was he able to get funded up to $1 million? Basically, with the markets, you can compare it also on a few other sites like Preferred Match, but we can offer you $900,000 in similar funded accounts. So basically, you can have one 500K EA1, and then I don't think it was Robin. Yeah, I think it was Robin who chose to trade also $400,000 EA track evaluation. So he's got 500K EA1 and 400K EA track. So you are close to $1 million. And then uh, as I was saying on the account review, you can go down with your risk a little bit, and if you do 2% per month on $1 million, I mean, yeah, you are looking at it $20,000 easily. So yeah, he can then drop the risk management, but I don't think he will. I think he is going to be continue sniping it. So we'll see. We can actually, guys, tomorrow we can bring back Robin and see how he's doing right now after a week, and also the gold trader. But I've got 3-4 other traders as well, so we shall see what we can learn from them.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah. So any other markets are you looking right now, or are
Well,
we good?
yeah, just very lastly, I'm just keep an
Okay.
eye on gold. I said on our live stream yesterday, on Monday, I'd like to see gold resuming upside pressure and taking out last week's highs. On the daily, we are sort of hugging this trend line right now. Structure is still to the
Mm,
upside, but we're
yeah.
just going through this consolidation period. I'm looking at right now this sort of double bottoming out, potentially coming, bam, 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 maybe play out here. We have shown signs of, you know, we had a liquidity sweep earlier today, gold, there or thereabouts, those Asian range lows, double bottomed at the Asian range low, and then pushed to the upside. And now we're just obviously sitting above the Asian range, consolidating, subject to, I'd like to see this as continuing to the north, to be honest with you, after this breakout. Yeah, so I'm monitoring gold right now. It's just a little bit late for me to start entering positions. I may look at it. I may look at the crossover once we've got the crossover into the new day. I may look at some potential longs depending on how this daily closes right now. Looking good for a stage in a rebound, and obviously this 4-hour momentum at present. Yeah, I like the look of this. To be honest, I like these longs, so I'm potentially going to eye those at the FX crossover, at the markets crossover, for a potential long from here. Because it's generally, to be honest, the downside's quite small. I'd be placing, for me personally, I'd be placing the stops just below, the low of today, and then I'll be targeting, as a swing anyway, looking up here at 34.30, just into this area here, and obviously that's up at. Sorry, wait, what's the date today? No, that's not at last week's highs. Last week's highs, that would be dwarfing last week's highs. Sorry, but that would still be running that to the upside and printing and potentially. I still see structures intact here. I know that we failed to sort of print another high. I mean, this is just volatility. This is the high for me. This is a new high low, and I want to see that push into the upside. Ignore that wick. I still think this is going to go and print a high. Yeah, I'm just monitoring this at the moment. Apart from
Yeah.
that, that's it.
Okay. With gold, I'm with you, but yeah, I'm probably say that every live stream, but I'm still bullish on gold. Nothing that convinced me yet that we are going to be bearish on gold in the midterm or long term. So in the short term, it might be, but for me, it's just a question of a time, like holding it. Yeah. So okay, perfect. Guy, thank you for coming. We'll have more analysis for you on Monday. If I'll go for that GU trade, I'll again let you know in stories. Also, what I wanted to ask Emu, because he passed the giveaway account, if you get a payout, please let me know on Instagram so I can review that account. But I will probably do so starting tomorrow on the live account review. So just keep in mind whenever you do something crazy again, like some crazy trade you took last time, let me know. Yeah, it's nice to see familiar faces in the chat. So we'll see you again on Monday, and I'll see you tomorrow on the live camera review. Thank you, Ken, for providing us with the insights. I really love the part with the Chinese PI, which I'm going to take a closer look at.
Awesome.
And thanks, guys, for tuning in. We appreciate
Thank
you.
you, guys. Take care.
Take care. Best of luck.